Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Lifelong Gunner podcast. Yeah, I know it's been a while. The last time I spoke to you guys, I was saying that I didn't want to post anything. We're right on the cusp of winning the title, and I felt like like not like you have a sense of self-importance, but sometimes you know, y- with where everything was, and winning and losing and winning by narrow margins, and it just was all very overwhelming. I mean, kind of felt like this had to be the time. And so, you have that 4 years, 3 years on the trot of coming second, and wanting this to be the time, and it looking like it could be and couldn't be and could be. I didn't want to post anything. And at the time, a lot of people were calling us bottle jobs, and the bottle came out and all of these theatrics. I didn't want us to, I personally didn't want to post anything to further add fuel to the flame. I don't really post negative content anyways, but you never know. Like there's a lot of people who watch YouTube, and you never know how they might perceive your message. So I said, you know what, sometimes, because to me, Arsenal is first and foremost. So it's best for me to just not say anything, and just kind of let positivity thrive. Um, and that was the reason for my little hiatus. But here we are, guys, Premier League champions. Um, I can't even begin to tell you guys how elated I am. Um, I've been supporting Arsenal since 1998. And I've seen them win the title, thankfully. But it's been so many years of disappointment, of shortcomings, that I'm happy that I was able to live long enough, all praises to God, to see them do it again. And long may it continue. Anyways, guys, so Premier League champions, as I said before, um, parade was amazing. I never got to go, obviously. I live here in Toronto. I wasn't able to go, but I watched it as if I was there, obviously, like any typical real Arsenal fan. We watched the live parade. It looked phenomenal. Everything from the when Odegaard headed the ball into the policeman's head, to Ben White singing Piero, get your Incapie, get your bum out. Everything was amazing. So, Ben White throwing Gyökeres's glasses into the crowd. Everything was amazing. And then the women as well, because they won the Club World Cup. To see them be a part of it, it kind of elevated the moment to even a higher sense of importance, because then you get to see the magnitude of the club in all its glory, not just the men, but the men and women side by side being victorious, being successful is what Arsenal is all about, right? Because we're nothing without each other, right? The men and women, we coexist for a reason, and our futures, need both of our contributions. Anyways, guys, so lots to get into. And I'm just going to briefly cover this. I know this is all news by now, and the funny thing is that I thought that I should have said something, but at the same time, I was just like, yo, let me just wait to see what happens, because we won the title. The board, it was no secret that we were going to do something big. 'Cause that's the only that's the next step, right? That's the only step that you could take after winning the title, to do something big. I mean, obviously, surely you can start to stagnate, as we saw, Arsenal in previous years stagnate. So obviously, you can always go in that direction, but you don't get the sense that that is the case, right? With this ownership that we have, fully involved, Crankies with Arteta at the helm, the level of seriousness, the appetite, the hunger, the desire, the wanting to do better, to take that next step, always next step. Second 3 years in a row, semifinals, win the title, final. So, the only way that you can really, and to see that nothing has changed, and to see the disappointment of the Champions League final, and I could see it in Josh Kroenke's face, that he was it was bitter for him, and that he was like, yo, Like we're going to get this one next year. We're going to invest heavily. So I was never of the belief that we wouldn't do nothing. I mean, um, yeah, the Morgan Rogers thing happened. But the truth being told, guys, I see a lot of people posting saying, we dropped the ball, we dropped the ball. But the fact of the matter is, guys, the reason why so many people are in such a dire situation when it comes down to finances because they suffer from, like feeling like this is we have to do it. And the truth is that there's always an alternative. And sometimes, like the Leandro Trossard, Mihailo Modric situation, you can see that sometimes it's in your best interest to miss out on things. Sometimes you shouldn't always get the thing that we want because it could be the thing that's worse for you, right? So and to be completely honest, Morgan Rogers is a good player, not a great player, he's a good player. Um, I wasn't. I mean, like in Aston Villa setup, Aston Villa and Arsenal plays two different types of football. The license that he has, the pressure that he has at Aston Villa is significantly different. And it's not like I don't think he can perform under pressure, but I just feel like that we might not see the same Morgan Rogers that we saw at Aston Villa at Arsenal. And I think that maybe holding out, and then here we are now with this news of Vinicius Junior. So segue into Vinicius Junior now. That you know, even though we would contractually be outlaying way more than it would be with Morgan Rogers from for contracts and salary and so forth, then unlike with Morgan Rogers, we've been making that money back tenfold in revenue from jersey sales, stadiums, tours. Um, and the long term effect of that is the brand has now escalated to a higher level, and now superstars of that ilk, which are very few and far, will now be attracted to the prospect of joining Arsenal, and I think that's very invaluable. So you know, who's to say if we sign him or not? But the fact of the matter is that no matter how it ends, it was close. So if we do it, then great. And if we don't do it, then it was close. And so the prospect of stars of that ilk, superstars of that ilk, want to join Arsenal would still, the club would still benefit from that because they will remember that time. You'll remember Vinny was really close to joining. So we can only benefit from this, guys. I don't think that there's any downside. A lot of people say that Junior doesn't work hard. He doesn't he's there's little niggling problematic things that happen um on the pitch. It's never really off the pitch, but on the pitch, racism and stuff like that. But guys, listen, those things exist. I know there's a lot of people out there that would like to act as if it doesn't exist, but those things exist. And you know especially when you are non-European, and it's difficult to really to even know how to manage that. I mean, obviously Brazil has uh somewhat large European contingency, but there's also a large black contingency. So when you live in a melting pot like that, then it's not the same. Let's put it that way. I'm not going to really go into it, but it's just not the same. The dynamics are a little bit different. How European Brazilians see themselves is not like how European whites or European people of European descent see themselves is different. Um, And if you don't know what that means, then go and look it up, go and read a book or something. But anyways, guys, so Vinicius Junior, guys. I mean, if we were to sign Vinicius Junior, Bruno Guimaraes looks like it's all done and dusted. Um, um, Christian Norgard is out the door. Thanks for everything, Christian. You came 1 year. People have been trying for years. You came 1 year, you won the title. I know you never got used a lot, but thanks for the memories. Thanks for everything, and I wish you all the best in the future. Um, so if Bruno signs and Vinny signs, then our Brazilian core has now grown. There's no real news of Gabriel Jesus leaving. There's no real news of Martinelli leaving. There's nothing there. Obviously, in the past there was Saudi, but we haven't really heard anything. and then we have Gabriel Magalhaes. So our Brazilian contingency is growing, and I think that Vini signs. I think if we decide to keep Gabriel Jesus, I feel like if he can stay fit, then I feel like you will see a renewed, revigorated Gabriel Jesus, a Gabriel Jesus that you probably have never seen before, because just the mood of that signing would just put everybody in just a state of wanting to increase their level, because his level is really high. He is the superstar of the group, and everybody would have to make that. And I think that if you are an opposing, if you're an opponent, if you're opposing, if you're on the opposing side of Arsenal, then you would be, it would be very grim for the future. Um, all right, guys. Is there anything else to talk about? So we're waiting for that. We're waiting for the so the Bruno Guimaraes is done and dusty, but we're waiting for it to be announced. I'm also waiting for Norgard to be announced to Everton. We're waiting to see what is happening within Real Madrid and Vinicius Junior. And we're waiting to see. I mean, I don't even know what to say, guys. The possible outcome of or prospect of him joining Arsenal is just, is just, you know, a thing of dreams, really. Um, and I feel like those three signings, I mean, Ivan Fresneda, I don't know how true that is. I haven't really heard anything substantial. I heard a little bit of murmurings, but if we were to add him, and then, because of Ben White's injury, if we were to kind of put Ben White more into defense, just to kind of have him not expose himself and his hamstring to the constant running on the in that wing back position. If we're able to get Fresneda and put him there, and then put Ben White, because we're not going to be with Saliba for a while. So, for Ben White to deputize for Saliba in his absence, then that would be great. And even to chop and change, depending on what the game state asks of our team, that we're able to be flexible. But we're at a stage where we can't overexpose our players anymore. We have to be a little bit more responsible with their health and wellness, and for the club and results of the club, right? We don't want to have another season played with injuries. Um, but yeah, guys, I mean, look at the team. Um, we played we played Girona, however you want to pronounce it, yesterday. 4-1 victors. Max Dorman looked like, he's leveled up. Um, Christos Solis looks really good. I'm actually really excited to see him in the new season. Um, Kai Havertz got on the score sheet. Gabriel Jesus got on the score sheet. Look sharp. Look into the game. Um, and you know, I don't even know. I don't even know if I mean, I don't. This might sound silly to a lot of you. I don't even know if I want us to sign Julian Alvarez. I mean, I just really want us to sign Vinicius Junior, because that left hand side has been like a bother. I mean, we've been so right sided for so long, that like from an attacking point of view, it has hindered us in so many ways. So I really want to see a substantial improvement on that left wing. So I don't really, to be honest with you, I don't want to say this sounds wild, but I don't even care if we sign Julian Alvarez or not. I feel like, if we were to go into the season with Gyökeres, Havertz, and Jesus, and they're all fit now at the same time, and we were to rotate them depending on what the game off, because they're all different, then we don't have to really worry about that right now. You know, just dial in on this Vinicius Junior. I hope he dials in on us as well, and we'll get over the line. If we don't sign him, then we're going to have to really look at um, probably gazumping Liverpool for Bradley Barcola, and also with Julian Alvarez. So the thing is that you get Vinicius, then we're good. With Fresneda, but if we don't sign Vinicius, then we're going to have to sign two people. We're going to have to sign Bradley Barcola. His end product is not the best. It takes too many chances to score a goal, in my opinion. But we'd have to sign him and Julian Alvarez, because we would need to those two players are Vinicius Junior in the sense of output, you know. So so you see how good Vinicius Junior is. So we'd really have to look at getting those two, and then we'd still have to get Ivan Freshneda. And I think, um, if we get Bradley Barcola, then we would have to, you know, but like, I mean, if even if we get Vinicius, we would have to sell. I feel like at that point, then Martinelli would have to step out unless you know Arteta has another plan for him. I don't know what the case is, but yeah, let's see. Let's wait and see what the deal is with that, guys. Anyways, guys, thanks for tuning into another episode of the Life I'm Gonna podcast. Let me know what you think about that Vinicius signing. Is it the likelihood of it happening? Let me know what you think about who would possibly leave if he was signed. Let me know what you think about the prospect of signing a fresh Nader. How do you think Crystal Salis looks in prison season so far? I know we only played two games, one that we saw and one was behind closed doors, but let me know what you think about him. Are you excited? Are you excited of, would you sell Jesus? Um, I know a lot of you are going to say yes for that. Really and truly, we don't only need three strikers, but with our injury record, we do. So, or do we sell, do we trade Gyökeres for Julian Alvarez? What's the thinking, guys? Let me know in the comment section down below, guys. Don't forget to like, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. And my promise to you guys is that I'll make to be way more consistent. So look out for content to come. All right, guys. Peace and love. And we're all.